So I picked up a clone of the Benchmade Model 49, specifically the TAC 3, which is the stainless steel variant. This guy has the stainless steel handles, skeletonized, countersunk, and I mean, right off the bat, it looks good to go. I was kind of curious to see how it would flip, and I mean, it's again good to go. It follows suit with the original 49 with the tang pin and the spring latch. The spring latch, interestingly, first came with the Model 49, the real one, and they've just carried the torch ever since. I think it's pretty cool. It's a good little bell and whistle. So on the 49, you have the Indonesian style crisp blade with the waves. It's good to go. On the original, which probably I will never set my paws on, because it's quite a price gap between this $35 and that. Johnny Post Production will hook that up. He'll probably find something. But this blade shape is pretty good to go. On the original, it's hollow grind, zero bevel. So yeah, if you don't know what that means, hollow grind being like a concave from the primary edge, the cutting angle, to having no secondary edge, which would normally start at the bevel from the primary edge to the blade's thickness. So on a double ground single edge, you would have your primary edge, the cutting angle, and then that would steep to a tapered secondary edge, which would follow all the way back to the spine to meet its thickness of the blade. So the hollow grind zero bevel is fucking outstanding because you have no beveled edge. It's like I said, it's a concave portion up until the median ridge. This guy right here, because on a double edge blade you will not have a spine. I'll touch that again later. But that blade design, I mean, makes the edge very, very fine, very thin, and it has enough material behind it being tapered to the median ridge that it facilitates structural integrity of the blade. So you don't have to worry about rolling, cracks, whatnot, because today's materials are, I mean, far from what they have been. So the materials definitely contribute integrity, the ability to maintain said integrity. So yeah, this blade is good to go. I'm not going to give you any specs on it, but I will throw up some model variants. Like I said, this is the TAC 03 stainless steel. There is also a TAC 05, and I believe the other ones are wood inlays, probably stainless steel as well, if not some titanium variant as well. But interesting to note about this, it is outstanding for cutting because on a knife, to facilitate proper cutting, you do not want any forces on any other plane besides the cutting edge. So being a zero bevel to the median ridge, you're not going to have any misplaced pressure as you cut, and as the knife cuts, it separates, and that separated portion needs to be moved out of the way, i.e. by the secondary angle, which we don't have. So it tapers back in a uniform manner to the median ridge. So that's fucking outstanding. But the pros and cons of this fucker is, well, let's start with pros, let's be optimists, is it is pretty good to go. I mean, you have good movement for the cost. Pro would be, what else? Aesthetics. The construction of it. The other option you could do at this price point, because this is primarily a trainer for me. This is mimetic to the 67 in weight, feel, function. So it's semi-function, I guess. But the other option is the trainer. It's like $10 you get on Amazon, which I was surprised because you could buy a Benchmade marked item, which obviously is not from Benchmade, on Amazon. So Amazon, if you're watching, I just told you that. But yeah, the fucking the other option you could do is the trainer, right here. It's just bare bones. But after flipping it, pretty much as I flipped the other ones, you have separation of the handles, other handles starting to come loose. I mean, you get what you pay for. So you can spend $10 on this or $35 on this and get your money's worth. I mean, for sure. The material's good to go. Like I said, aesthetically outstanding, moves pretty good. Let's touch upon the downside. The negative aspects of this would be the spring loaded catch. The tip of it is screwed on, so while you're flipping, that fucker is gonna shoot out any which way it wants. Also, while I was flipping, the screw retaining said spring popped out, so I was just fortunate enough to find that. Another downside could be, if you look upon close inspection, I guess it could be a downside, but the geometry of the part, the tolerances of the machining, grinding, just material working is subpar. I mean, it's not going to win any close inspection beauty contests. What else can we do? Compared to the 67, we have the handle movement, which is perfect amount. This thing is great to flip. I'll keep that open. Whereas this guy, bam, there's considerable play in the blades. You can tighten it up, but when you tighten it up, it's going to reduce the ability to have fluent movement during manipulation. But yeah, there's movement, but my biggest issue with that movement is that when you close, if you can see that, you actually have blade contact with the handles above and beyond any reasonable person's expectation. I mean, even for $35 knife, you would think, nah, I guess not, it's come from China, right? So yeah, the quality control wasn't there. Whereas this guy, it is impossible for the blade to touch the handles. So, but I mean, you should know what you're getting into. So this video is definitely geared towards anyone looking to get into Bali-Song or anyone looking for a trainer. Instead of a $10 piece of crap, you can go with $35. The biggest downside to this knife, like I said earlier, the original was a double-edged crisp blade, whereas this one is single edge, barely a grind on it. I mean, it is not sharp at all. As you can see, I'll just rub my fucking hand on it. The spine on the back actually causes more damage to your hands while you flip than the sharpened portion, but that's good. Makes it a perfect trainer, and that's good to go. So function, good. Fit, nah, acceptable for the price point. And form, outstanding. I mean, that crisp blade is good to go. That makes the whole knife. So if you're in the market, I mean, I would go with this route. I mean, you could find any model that you would want to see cloned. So at this price point, as opposed to the OEM price point, especially on a blade like this that was a limited run, I mean, I think this would be the way to go. So